The biggest challenge for Dairygold and the biggest challenge for this project was to try to take all the divisions and create one core message for what Dairygold stands for. And out of that was to unlock what is the essence of Dairygold in the eyes of the customer, which is very different in terms of potentially how the supplier shareholders see the company today. So it was bringing all stakeholders together, harnessing their views and opinions and creating the idea of one Dairygold that could be translated right across the corporation or the cooperative, whether it was agri division, food ingredients, or indeed the retail division. And that was the biggest challenge, both culturally as well as structurally. One of the key advantages of dealing with 2020, and one of the reasons I was happy to bring them on board, is as brand visionaries, it was very clear that they understood what was required from bringing, again, a number of entities together under one vision. And they clearly understood the goals and the values of the organisation, which are now reflected in exactly what Dairygold is and how important that is for Dairygold's future. We are moving into the new era, and therefore we needed to change mindsets and cultures and values as part of the project. So from their experience and their background and the contribution and the bringing together of all of the divisions and the entities within the organisation, it was very clear and available that people could be convinced. So definitely they brought huge value to the organisation and to the project. I think what probably was most significant through the engagement process across the organisation was the realisation among all the stakeholders that there was no one clear vision for Dairygold, and yet it had a huge amount of IP in its stock, whether it's the grass-fed herds, whether it's the natural quality of the milk from this beautiful region where the hard-working families of our and the shareholders have operated for over 100 years. We really weren't good at telling that story. The customer knew that they were getting good quality products on a regular basis, but in the context of being able to declare that in a way that goes beyond just a ton of milk powder or a block of cheese. So the context that we were looking to do was bring connectivity between that raw natural source, that historical golden vein which this region is historically known as, and related all the way through to the ingredients that we put into products with some of our key blue chip companies that we supply today, and how the consumer can benefit from those and tell that story. It was very different, and as the project started to evolve, those stories started to emerge. And today we're proud to be able to relate the history and heritage of the organisation to the growth strategy of the organisation, that sustainable business plan that we are all signed up to. And it's very exciting because in the context of the new era, the new normal for milk, with all this extra milk coming through, the promise to the farmer is to add value to that milk. The promise to the customer is to have good value and good health benefits within that milk. So I think that journey we've been on is very beneficial, and we're very pleased where it ended up. The new brand logo that here behind me for Dairygold is the result of this journey. It tells a very compelling story, and what's been very interesting is the reaction from the stakeholders, customers, and even non-Dairygold people alike. They see it as fresh, as different. It resonates very strongly. That provenance that we looked to draw out of Dairygold is very obvious to see now. And as it starts to, as we start to activate it across our divisions, and as we expose it to both our employees and shareholders alike, it's very positive. And to see recently one of our milk tankers heading off on its journey to collect the milk from the shareholders with this new logo on board, it really brought it home that we've achieved something special for Dairygold, and this is only the beginning.